Activision devs do not play their own game. It's not your dad doesn't support you.
You should know, you worked at a coffee shop, you stupid bitch.
My name is Casey, and absolutely not fucking Tanner, because my parents don't hate me that much.
Hey, did they have just 8 patches lined up, but they just didn't release them because they were on break? No, you moron kids.
Then we'll, of course, get into it. Change your fucking name and get scammed. He's feeling under the weather.
I probably won't say another word until Stay Humble, so have a good pod, Raz. I'll be here listening.
Got it. We are live. Welcome, boys and girls, to Dropshot, a podcast, episode number 258, I think. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. I am joined, once again, by this guy, Tanner.
By a guy, huh? By some guy.
I'm joined by a guy. I don't know why it's so funny to say that, but I always enjoy it.
It's a good thing to say, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be in 2 weeks when I'm not here. You're going to be joined by someone, hopefully, a guy or a girl. I don't know, man. You better figure it out, though.
Or there won't be a episode, yeah. So
yeah, or
we're going to have to figure that out for sure.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Anyway, we'll keep you guys posted. Welcome to the show. Today, we are doing a podcast about Season 5. Our first impressions. And, well, let's just say this. If you saw... if you caught the windows in time in which Tanner's OBS was working and simultaneously the Warzone servers were working yesterday, then you will have caught a glimpse into what this episode will be like. Because it is not much different than that. So that there's a little spoiler for those of you who were around yesterday for the gameplay stream. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's put it that way. We've got a lot to talk about, and we're going to get into it. And I don't think anyone who has regularly listened to this podcast is going to be very surprised by what we have to say, to be honest. So before we start, do we have any announcements, Tanner?
No, follow the
week,
Twitter.
Really.
Follow the Twitter at the Dropshot Pod on Twitter. I think we're pushing out that MW2 giveaway tweet on Monday the 29th. So
yes.
Make sure to follow us. Get on that. I think
Noti Gang.
I think our plan was the 29th, and then we pick it live on the 1st, I believe, is what we had
Something
figured
like
out.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
And then yeah, don't forget, next month starts the new Patreon changes as well. So what was I going to say? Oh, there's another giveaway taking place on Patreon next month. So that's the Vault giveaway. If you guys are interested in that, just be a patron. That's all you have to do.
Be a patron. It is that
be signed
simple.
up. Yeah.
And September will be a great time to do it. Now is an even better time because then I can bill you twice, obviously. And you'll get 7 bonus episodes. You'll, in fact, get the entire back catalog. Maybe we should write that down, because I think there do, which is insane to me, by the way. I think there do exist podcasts where, hold on.
I believe that was one of Crime Junkie's tiers. I think only their more expensive tier also comes with all of the old episodes or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane to me that there exist podcasts where once you become a patron, you get access to bonus episodes going forward. But come on, man. Why not give them the back catalog? I think you should do that. And that's what we do. So anyway, you could do that. But this doesn't matter.
Oh, that's their annual perk. You have to sign up at annually at any tier to get every back catalog episode. That's insane. Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It's very weird.
Yeah. Well, but we offer just so much more than other podcasts for our Patreon, which is the best way to support the show.
Yeah, maybe we should put a bunch of things. I mean, they have fucking access to AMA on there. Hey, we have a Discord. You can ask me anything in there. Maybe we should throw that in our Patreon too.
We could. Yeah.
I mean, ask me anything you want.
Yeah. Won't answer,
well,
but you
anything.
can ask me.
I probably will. You won't. I'll answer.
Of course I won't. So anyway, yeah, that's happening. For the Twitter giveaway, yeah, it's the regular edition. You don't have to be a patron. The way to win that is to follow the Twitter and then interact with the tweet in some capacity. I don't know how it works really, but it'll be clear.
Figure it out.
But following the Twitter is one of the prerequisites. I can tell you that much. So follow it at the Dropshot Pod. And then, yeah, we're going to be doing a separate giveaway for patrons, but that's going to be a little later on. So yeah, other than that, we got a lot of Patreon eps coming for the end of the month here. And now for the first impressions. Before we get into this, a little bit of a disclaimer. We have not yet played the new Zombies experience. We have not yet played Vanguard really at all. I did play Vanguard for a couple hours, but I was just playing Shipment 24/7 to level the laser gun. So I can talk about that a little bit, and I guess I will. But we haven't played Zombies, which is something I'm actually interested in. And there are other things we didn't do as well. The LTM and Warzone, we have not played that yet, and we never will now. I'm no longer going to try.
We did try to play it, by the way. We queued for that also like 2 times and could not find a lobby. So
correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were going to talk for probably 30 seconds about the LTM because it's an LTM and doesn't matter. Now we're not going to talk about it at all besides this because I'm done. I tried twice. It didn't work. I don't care enough. So I'm never playing the LTM. Cool. So that we haven't played, so we won't talk about that. We didn't play Zombies yet. That we will be playing, and we'll almost certainly be talking about that on the Patreon, patreon.com/Dropshot Business Sports Show. And then there's something else we have not done that's related to the new season.
Well, the new Rebirth Sunset just came out. I'll talk about that a bit when we start. You haven't played that.
Correct.
I mean, we really haven't played Caldera much because we weren't able to. We tried to play it, yeah. But, no, I think that's it. I think we played everything.
Okay, yeah. I
that's
think
in right now. Well, we didn't play Iron Trials, which I think was actually in yesterday.
Oh, yeah, but that's not different from the last Iron Trials, so that doesn't matter quite as much. So everything else we have experienced. And yeah, so we played a bit yesterday. We tried the LTM, didn't work. Then we tried to play duos, didn't work. Then we restarted our game, and then we were told an update requires restart, so we just had to restart twice in rapid succession. Cool. Sick developers. Sick publishing company. Got it. And it takes 20 minutes for Warzone to launch too, so that's that's just the cherry on top, man. I love that. When I want to play Warzone, I love waiting 10 minutes to find a lobby, to not find one, to restart my game to fix it, to then be told as soon as I restart my game that I need to restart my game. Just did, but cool, I'll do it again, I guess. Awesome. So then we did that, then we queued for duos, then we finally got into a couple of games, and then we started playing Fortune's Keep. Because Raven Software Development Company. That's why, which we're going to get into. So we played some Caldera, we played some Fortune's Keep, Tanner played some Rebirth Island. That is the background information for these first impressions. Now, before we get into Warzone, which is going to be the vast majority of this episode, I will talk about Vanguard. The only new Season 5 thing in Vanguard I've experienced is the laser gun. EX1, whatever the fuck it's called. I think that is what it is. EX1. If you're a Vanguard player and you play pubs, this thing is pretty good, actually. But you have to make it a hipfire build. Because the thing that's unique about this in Vanguard Multi is that when you're shooting it, the laser is fat as fuck. It's like a big, thick laser. So you don't have to aim very much at all. And on top of that, it has a very competitive hipfire spread. It's a small ass little PPSH hipfire spread if you build it correctly. And not only that, it has a really fat laser. So you don't have to actually hit the guy to get damage on. So I was trying to ADS with it like an asshole. And it ADS is kind of slow, at least when it's not max level or whatever. And I was doing fine, but not great. And then I like respawned one time, and I noticed my tiny little hipfire reticle. I was like, let me try this. First kill after that, okay? I'm on DOS house. I fucking look down mid, hipfire a guy, all hipfire. I get every single laser is a hit, and I fucking torch him. And I'm like, oh, okay. I get it now. You're not supposed to ADS this gun, at least not in multiplayer. So then I immediately started doing way fucking better. I stopped giving a fuck about ADS speed attachments on the gun. I went all sprint to fire and hip fire accuracy attachments, and then I was cooking with gas. Then it was fucking fun. It's not that good. It's not overpowered. It's certainly not a Whitley. It's not even a oh god, what was the gun? It's not even a well gun. I think those are both better. They definitely were in their pre-nerf states. But it's still pretty good, and it's very easy to use. It's extremely easy as long as you don't ADS, because it's a thick-ass laser, and it also has a really competitive hip fire spread. So that's how I would recommend you use it in Vanguard multiplayer if you want to play Vanguard multiplayer. Now, should you use it in Vanguard multiplayer? Not to level it for Warzone, because it's terrible in Warzone. It's not a good gun. I didn't see anyone else using it. I was trying to use it a couple times. Sucked dick. And we'll talk more about this, but it wasn't very good. And it, holy shit, what was I saying? I don't know, but it wasn't very good. It's not worth leveling in Vanguard. If the purpose of playing it with it in Vanguard is to level it for Warzone, don't. Because I have not yet seen literally a single other person using it when I've played. Not on Fortune's Keep, not on Caldera, not in the pregame lobby. I'm not kidding. I literally didn't see anyone else using it yesterday. Maybe because I didn't max level mine. Doubt it, though. Because I would have heard about it by now. We all would have. So that's my Vanguard experience. Didn't play any new maps. Didn't use the SMG because I'm not tier 31. Nor am I buying tier 31. And that is that. So yeah, it was fun to use in Vanguard multi, though.
It's ground loot all over the place in Caldera, so you should see it there somewhere. But I don't know. I haven't played Vanguard multiplayer, and honestly, probably won't either. We're gonna play zombies for sure in the next day or 2 or 3. But I probably won't play Vanguard this season at all. No reason to at all. So that goes for me. I didn't use this new gun in Vanguard or in Warzone, and I haven't used the new SMG because I haven't had it unlocked either. I've heard good things about that new SMG, but so we won't be talking about that either because we haven't used them. So we'll probably, by the second impressions episode we do, hopefully I'll have put enough time in with that SMG to know about it some more, because that thing is supposedly pretty good, what I've been hearing. That's in the SMG meta, so I'm excited to have that. But at the end of the day, it's another SMG. It's going to feel like all the other ones. So
did we jot down the hipfire piss boy?
No, because I didn't really use it. I just picked it up once today.
Got it. That's fine. Okay. So yeah, what do we got next here, buddy?
All right, to start with. And there are some good things to say about the season, by the way. We'll start off with that. These are in like no order. They're all over the place. It's not a good, bad category. So if you guys only want to listen to good things, I don't know. Don't listen to this episode. It's mostly going to be bad things because the game's in an awful state, in our opinion. But there are some good things that we'll get into. But we're starting off on a super low note, which is the lighting and visibility is once again worse on Caldera. Just for no reason. Unnecessary changes don't make the game better, don't even make it the same, just to make it worse. And it is pretty much the same lighting that they pushed through last season, and they said it was unintended. And I was like, oh, cool, there's a glimpse at the future lighting that we're going to see in some point, and here it is, it's here. It doesn't seem maybe as bad as that, but if you look certain directions, there's an insane glare again. Like around peak and stuff, looking up top, you get a glare. We were at that tunnel down to the east of peak. There's a tunnel. On the top of it, there's like a POI. There's a balloon right there. go through the tunnel. Raz and I were inside of it. This was on my stream. I was like, wow. Look at this visibility looking outside of the tunnel. We were standing in the middle of it, staring to the other end of the tunnel, which was probably 75 meters in front of me. You can't see out. Literally. Bright white. It's just all glare.
The sun beta. That's how bright it, unironically, that's how bright it was, yeah.
So if someone were to be there shooting at us, like there's nothing, I wouldn't even be able to shoot back. You can't see anything there. And that was on my stream, so there's no, that was just all bad. So the lighting didn't make the game any better, only made it worse. Once again, I don't know why they do these things. We want like little map POI changes. We don't need the lighting changed every 3 months, and somehow you make it worse every time. Yep. Usually.
I agree. I will say this. The visibility, so it looks way worse. Just like aesthetically, it's gross and doesn't look good, and I don't like it. But I don't care about aesthetics, really. So that doesn't bother me that much. And then the visibility, most of the time, was still fine, honestly. I could still see shit fine on Caldera, as well as I could pre-Season 5. Wasn't that big of a deal. But the lighting change did introduce instances like the tunnel incident, where there's so much glare you can't see at all. Well, so like most of the time it's fine, but when it's bad, it's you can't see. And that's not good. Why do that? No reason.
Well, yeah. The game seems softer now too. Like the lighting made everything appear softer, which I don't like. It's harder to spot targets in my opinion. I like my games a little bit sharper. And another thing that I was talking about on the stream a lot too is when we were running through areas with a bunch of trees, the shadows that the trees were casting were so dark. Like usually pre this lighting change, if you were running, you can kind of see someone out of the corner of your eye like, oh shit, I think I see someone moving over there. If someone's in those shadows, like crouch, moving back and forth, ADSing at you, you won't see that they're there at all. It's just not going to happen.
Interesting.
They get lost in those extremely dark shadows. So yeah, again, just, making changes for no goddamn reason. Hey, add lava flow. That's fine. You don't need to change the whole skybox because there's lava on the map. Now, we don't care.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Or, like, change the skybox by peak where the lava is. And then keep the rest of the map the same. I don't know, man. Or just don't add the lava. We don't care. I just want to see people and play the game. Like, that's all I want. I fucking want. That's all I want. Is this so much to ask? Is it so much to ask that you let me launch your game once instead of 3 times, press play, and then get into a match where I can see other people? Is that so much to ask? Apparently it is. So, anyway. And then Tanner played a little bit of Rebirth.
Yeah. Rebirth lighting actually seems okay. I had talked about Wednesday when we were...
That's good.
Wednesday when we were looking at the screenshot, I was like, oh, this lighting is going to be awful. It's actually probably better than Caldera lighting. I just played a few quick games before the pod because I wanted to see how the lighting worked. It's not nearly as bad as a screenshot. Indoors are brighter than anywhere indoors on Fortune's Keep or Caldera, so that's good. Brighter than all the Caldera buildings, really. When you look east, you're hit with kind of a sun glare, but it's still not as bad as the sun glare that you get if you stare at it right now or look that direction on Caldera. And definitely not as bad as Verdansk back in the day. And looking any other direction is fine, too. Like, you don't get any sort of glare. It just looks... It's actually pretty. Like you had just talked about, you don't care about the aesthetic, but Rebirth actually looks pretty right now. It's kind of cool. So I think the lighting's just different on that map. Didn't really make it worse, didn't make it better, but that's like an open change that's okay. I mean, the lighting before on Rebirth was absolutely perfect, but this didn't really make it much worse. It looks kind of cool. I was telling Raz, it kind of looked like Tarkov. If you play when the sun's setting, the sky gets like red and looks really pretty. It kind of reminds me of that. It looks dope. It is cool to like see, but
it's not that I don't care at all about aesthetics. I just mean, and I know you're not saying I did say this, but just to be clear for the listener, I would rather, like, if you can improve the aesthetics and the visibility stays just as good, then do it. But if you're going to give me aesthetics at the expense of being able to see people, that's when I have an issue. That's what I mean. I know you're not saying that's not what I said, but yeah. But that's good. I think part of it is like kind of like what you were talking about with Rebirth at night, where you were saying the Rebirth at Night playlist we're going to get will actually probably have good visibility because the brain dead as they are devs know enough to be like, we have to make sure people can be seen since it's nighttime. They probably went through the same thought process with Sunset. They were like, okay, if we do Sunset, it's obviously going to be darker. We need to make sure that's not a problem. So that since they actually thought about it, because they don't play their own games, they actually did something about it. That's my best guess for why the lighting seems fine on Rebirth, but I'm glad to hear it. For sure.
Yeah. So I like it.
Yeah.
Looks kind of cool, actually.
Nice.
My next thing. Oh boy. Here's another. This is worse than the lighting.
Oh yeah.
The noise pollution from this stupid event that no one cares about, by the way, and won't ever care about, is insane. Mind-blowing that anyone played the game after adding this in and thought that was fine. The tokens that you get for the heroes villains event, pretty much every chest you open, it drops 2 tokens that sit there and spin on the ground and go and make a dog shit unnecessary audio cue. So you're like, well, great, I want this audio to go away, so I'm gonna do the smart thing and pick them up so the audio goes away, right? Hold on, jump starting it. Hold on. Wrong. You pick
Super
it up
wrong.
and it plays a literal 2 to 3 second little like music sound clip. It's like dun dun dun.
Little chime, yeah.
Fucking why? Why do we need that?
Great question.
Are you out of your goddamn mind? When I'm trying so hard to listen for footsteps, when I already can't hear them because there's a chest going, and then I have to open the chest and it goes, boom, and then it drops guns out, and then there's a hero versus villain tokens, and it's ring, 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 and then I pick that up and it's dun dun dun, as some guy is fucking sprinting on top of me, shooting me, and I can't hear him.
Yep.
Why? This game has more noise pollution than anything I've ever heard in my fucking life. And know what it needs is PUBG. You play PUBG, there is not a sound on the map other than people running and gunshots. That nothing makes noise in that game. There'll be 100 people in the lobby. You'll be sprinting in the middle of nowhere. You don't hear a goddamn thing. And you're like, is there even anyone in my lobby? Because there's no audio. That's what I would love to see, man. Every single thing in this game that they add in has to have audio for some reason. And I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's insane. So just what I need in a first-person shooter when I'm begging to hear footsteps just one time. Again, unnecessary dog shit trash they add to the game that no one cares about. No one gives a shit about this event and does not improve the game in any capacity whatsoever. I've seen people tweeting at Ted saying, oh yeah, the audio's a little loud. Of course, he responded to all of them but me, even though my comment got more likes. I'm shadow banned by Ted's Twitter.
On his Twitter.
Ted Timmy
We're muted.
Ted Timmy Timmons, the Timster, has shadow banned me on the tweet.
The teller of tall tales, Ted Timmons.
Yeah. And so he did respond to one person and was like, agree, the audio for it is a little loud. And that's all he said. And they're not going to change it because this event's only in the game for like 15, 16, 17 more days. They're not going to change it. So you just got to deal with that.
And even if they wanted to, I'm starting to be convinced they don't know how to like adjust the volume on anything.
The audio
really
levels in the game are just so messed up.
At Raven is the worst. Well, hold on. Let me think about this. Okay, now. The quality assurance team is the worst department at Raven. In a very close, this is a competitive category, by the way. In a very close second is the audio team. Because the audio has been awful for months now. Really bad. And it's, I think now, I can say this confidently. Since day one of Warzone, I'm talking 2020, fucking Infinity Ward, MW 2019, Warzone day one. From then until this moment in time right now, the audio has never been worse. And I'm actually pretty confident saying that.
Yeah, I think I would tend to agree.
And that is saying a lot. Because when Warzone first came out, Berthas were impossibly loud. Precisions were even louder than they are now.
They still are, yeah.
Which is hard to believe if you didn't play Warzone back then. All all kinds of audio issues back in the day. But now it's worse than I think it's literally ever been. One issue that was never in Verdansk that has still not been fixed on Caldera is parachute audio. I didn't hear a lot of things on Verdansk, and probably sometimes I didn't hear parachutes, but most of the time, from what I remember, I did. I heard someone parachuting. I have not heard a parachute. I forgot what it sounds like. That's how long it's been since I've heard what a parachute sounds like. I don't know in how long I have not heard a parachute. Audio footsteps are also, they're either worse or, as Tanner said, there is so much audio pollution now that it's just drowned out.
I think that's what it's come to, because all the shit they've added in that
It's
creates more
very
noise.
possible.
Bombers, planes, you know, all sorts of things. It's just,
Announcer
it all
screaming.
adds. Yeah.
The announcer
It's just more
reading fucking
noises
Hamlet
on top
to
of
me.
the ones we care about.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
It's so insane. I had 2 deaths yesterday. One of them, I swear to God, I said this on Tanner's stream. I wish I was streaming so I could show you guys this. It was the most egregious example of not hearing someone that has ever happened to me. I'm on a rampart, Fortune's Keep. I'm fucking wrecking this kid. It's on some rooftop. And some guy walks up. No, I'm sorry. I wish he had walked up to me. Fucking tack sprints up to me. Melees me trying to finishing move me. But he fucks it up. And then he just gives up on that, starts shooting me, and I die. And I heard none of it. None of it. And I watched the kill cam in sheer disbelief and screamed into my microphone, quote, "Where's the audio?" Probably 8 times. Just unbelievable. And he of course didn't have dead silence, by the way. I don't know how much worse it could possibly get. But here's how you can sum up Warzone audio. Everything I want to hear, I cannot hear. Enemy players sprinting at me who want to kill me. Can't hear them. Enemy players parachuting inside my ass. Can't hear them. These are the things I want to hear. And is that too much to ask, by the way? That's 2 things I want to hear. Just those 2. That's all. That's all I beg of you. Let me hear those 2 things. They're the most important things in a BR for me to be able to hear, and I cannot hear them.
Yeah.
And everything I don't want to hear, not only can I hear it consistently without fail every single fucking time, but they're also entirely too loud. I've never not heard a fucking villain token on the ground.
No,
I've
you hear
never
them from 30
heard
feet away.
a supply box that is unopened. Never, not once. I've never not heard a precision airstrike. These things are consistently audible. Every single time, 100% of the time, if a precision is called, I hear it. Every time. Why can't we have that consistency with things that actually matter? Don't know. Defies logic, defies fun. And it's terrible. The audio's never been worse. It's never been worse.
It's also just like and then you hear things that you don't expect to hear from like someone running up far away, but then yet someone sprints up directly behind you and you don't hear that. So like last night while I was playing Keep with Lag, we played like 3 or 4 games. And I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. There's at least 2 of them. I think there's probably like 3. Like stone buildings that have spiral staircases that lead up to the top of them. On the top of those buildings, there's like a couple cannons. It's like a long set of spiral stairs. If you are anywhere in that building, no matter what level you're on, you hear footsteps, and I can't tell where they are. You just can't. The audio's insanely loud. You hear every step of the way. I was telling Lag this. He's like, they're on this level here with us. I'm like, where? How do you know that? I just hear footsteps. And then, of course, Lag would keep running and couldn't find them either. We would just run up and down, and not be able to find these people, but you hear every fucking step they're taking. And they're like 3 floors below you through solid stone. Why do I hear that, but then I don't hear someone sprinting up behind me? It's so messed up. It's so inconsistent. It's like I don't get how that's possible.
It's a great question.
It's so weird to me. And that's
the
kind of
devs
like the
don't
same thing
either.
on Rebirth. You're on the roof of prison and you hear people down in the fucking basement of prison basically sprinting. It's like, how do I get that audio but not someone sprinting up behind me? It's so weird.
It is bizarre.
It's the polar opposite of Tarkov audio. It's very odd.
Where you don't hear anything and then they're very loud all of a sudden while you're getting shot.
You hear them when they're on their level. If they're in front of you or behind you, you don't hear them above or below. Warzone's the opposite. You hear them above or below, but never if they're on the same level as you.
Yep.
It's weird. It
is strange.
Yeah.
So and the fact that that's an issue, because you're right. Still. The fact that this is an issue, again, demonstrates to me that the audio team literally doesn't know why that's happening. Because that is happening where you hear people under you but not on your level. Okay.
Yeah.
That is not by design. There's no world in which that is intended.
No.
If anything, they would prefer you hear people on your level but not necessarily below you or above you. Yep. Ideally, let's hear both. But if you have to pick one, it's the latter. So the fact that it is literally the opposite case, and that is definitely not intended, demonstrates to me the audio team doesn't know why it's happening. So I'm fairly convinced they don't know how to fix it, because this is really bad and very unintended and still in the game. For how long? For how long has this been an issue? And the problem is, number one, Activision devs don't play their own game, so they might not even know this is happening. And number two, the people to whom they read Twitter comments about, reply to on their own tweets, are only COD partners who jerk each other off.
W update. Loving the Season 5 update.
And then
Huge
Ted
W.
will reply to that. Or Ted will reply to the most milquetoast, mealy-mouthed, toady cuckold tweets, criticisms that can possibly be levied with a milquetoast concession. For example, the tokens could be a little quieter. And then Ted will be like, okay, I'll deign to reply to this because it doesn't make me look bad. And it's from a hashtag COD partner. He'll say, you know what? Yeah, man. Yeah, COD partner. They could be a tiny bit quieter. That's the type of criticism that they will even read, let alone think about, let alone reply to, and absolutely let alone fucking address. This is the problem. They surround themselves with people who suck them off, and they themselves don't play the game, so they either don't care about the issues, or perhaps more likely, don't even know they exist. I wouldn't be surprised if Ted doesn't know that it's easier to hear someone a floor below me than running at me on my floor. I actually wouldn't be surprised, and I would be shocked if he knew how bad the parachute audio is, which is to say, it's literally silent, dead silent parachutes. Yeah. I'd be shocked if he knew that was a problem. Shocked. Or any dev, especially any audio dev.
And this is the issue is these people how did they become COD partners? Because they've always sucked Activision off, which is fine. I get it. You want to be a COD partner.
I don't blame them. Yeah,
I understand it.
Good for you. I would do the same thing.
Well, I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe not.
But
I wouldn't.
It's like the things the COD partners want and ask them about when they have these little meetings are like, oh, like my chat's begging for FOV slider for console, or like, oh, can we get like a streamer mode? But I feel like they don't ever bring up the core issues. We don't know what they talk to them about, but it's like, dude, how you guys need to be more outspoken about this shit. You're the ones that they would maybe listen to, and instead you guys spend your time fucking promoting their bundles to use your code so that you can make money, which is great for you. I'm happy you're making a shitload of money doing that. But it's like I feel like they just don't. It's like they're scared to approach them about the core issues of the game, because then it's going to be them like complaining, and then they're going to get yanked as a COD partner.
Their partnership. Yeah. So I kind of agree with you. Like, I don't blame these COD partners who suck off Activision on Twitter and tweet things like, "Oh, Season 5 is a W update. Thanks, Ted at Raven." I don't blame them for doing that at all. Like, of course they're going to do that, and they should do it. They're COD partners. They're getting paid by this company.
Well, they don't get paid. I guess if they have a COD partner code in the store, but most of them don't have that.
They get some access.
They get to play the game early, basically. Yeah,
they
shit
make
like that.
money by virtue of their status as a COD partner, one way or another. Yeah,
through YouTube and shit.
So they're
from early
benefiting
access.
from it. So I understand, and I don't blame these people for doing that. But I do wish they would raise some legitimate criticism, given that they actually would get a reply, something on record. Because there are ways to tell Ted his audio team should be cleared. They should clear house in the audio department. There are polite ways to say this that a COD partner could do that would not likely jeopardize their partnership. Hey, Ted, I love the update. I'm having fun shooting laser beams like a stormtrooper. However, I still am having trouble hearing enemies who are deploying their parachutes close to me. Is this just me, or are other people experiencing the same issue? Thanks.
Oh, must just be you. No one's brought
Thumbs
it up.
up emoji. That's fine. You're not going to get fucking removed for that, and it's addressing a core issue. But none of them do it. It's too much work. It's too much potential heat, I guess. I don't know. Or they actually just don't care. Which, fine. I mean, but I don't know. I just wish
go back to like that Swag interview he did with Ted that one time. Like, what questions did Swag ask him? He literally asked him about FOV slider. It was just other, like, the most cookie cutter trash questions. That's like, well, that was literally a waste of an hour of me listening to. Like, you asked him nothing substantial, no core issues that are in the game. I mean, just nothing that the average person complains about, or you even probably complain about. You just don't bring any of that up because you want to remain your status as a COD partner.
No SBMM conversation. No.
Well, I don't think that's Raven's thing to talk about.
Yeah,
anyways.
I agree. But yeah, you're right. That's a good point. In fact, in those streamer interviews, we barely even covered them. Why? Because almost every question that was asked was a question that they've already answered somewhere else before. So it's like they're just re-asking questions that we already have answers to.
There was like one little new thing that they had talked about that we
did cover.
Mentioned. Yeah, I think it was from Teepees. I don't remember what it was, but there was something that was actually interesting, or like, oh, okay, we'll talk about that. And that was it. Ted's done like 4 or 5 hours of interviews on Twitch, and like nothing has been new or interesting or a major topic in the game ever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it boggles my mind, especially for these COD partners who play fucking Warzone 12 hours a day. Dude, you don't have some legitimate fucking problems with this game, with how much you play. They have a lot of
problems, yeah.
That is insane to me. And they're sitting here asking like, oh, did you really what was the party like that you guys had at the studio for having sold the most copies for this fiscal year?
Yeah.
What hors d'oeuvres did you serve at that celebration? It's like, why are you wasting this opportunity asking questions that don't matter at all? Or, hey, Ted, what's your favorite gun to use in Warzone? Hey, Ted, I couldn't give less of a single solitary flying fuck what you use in Warzone the once a month session you play. I don't care. Why are you asking this? Ask a question that matters. 1 per hour even, I would have been happy with. But instead we got one in the entire span of all of those different creator interviews. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's always, my dad has literally asked me like 2 or 3 times. He's like, oh, has the company ever reached out to you? He asked me again like recently, like a month ago or something. And I'd literally just laugh. I'm like, dude, no, of course not. And they never will. And I never expect them to, because we complain about the game a lot. Oh, yeah. Because the game used to be pretty fun. We complain about it back when it's fun, but it was more fun than it is now, for sure. Oh, so it's No, of course not. We complain about the game. They would never want to associate themselves with anyone like that. We don't suck them off, and I tell it how I see it and how I think, and I'm, not going to stop that. So.
Yeah, neither of us will, ever.
No. That's why we'll never be affiliated or invited to anything ever.
Correct.
It doesn't matter.
Even
if we had a 1.5 million followers on Twitter, we would never get invited to any of it.
I agree. Yeah. And a lot of people are like, dude, it sounds like you guys just hate the game. The game could be like almost perfect, and we would still spend every single episode 90% complaints. Because we do like Call of Duty. And the reason you complain is to make it better. Because I want to make the thing I like better. It's like if I have a son, a fucking 6-year-old kid, right? And I take him to the park, and he's like playing fucking soccer with all the other little kids. And he's like being cool and having fun and exercising. Like, that's all great. And then he fucking cold clocks the enemy goal, the opposite team's goalie, when the goalie like blocks his ball. The only thing I'm going to talk to my son about after that game is like, hey, man, you can't do that. Like, that's not a good...
Hey, he deserved it, but you can't do that, man.
All I would do from the perspective of a listener is complain about my son's performance at that soccer game. Now, I like my son, or I would. In this hypothetical, I do. And... almost everything he did in the soccer game was great and things I support. But because I like my son, I'm going to spend an inordinate amount of time on the things that he did not do correctly because I want him to fix them because I love my son. That's called being a decent parent. And you've all seen these kids that have the very nice parents who let their children do whatever the fuck they want. And hey, man, I could be like, hey, you scored a great goal, and just ignore the fact that he punched the other goalie in the face. And then I'm going to have a really shit kid because I didn't raise him correctly. Right? Yeah. Because all I did was jerk him off. That mom in the grocery store who is letting her toddler fucking scream and yeet groceries at the cashier's face and not punish them at all. We've all seen this mom. She's white. And every single time, everyone hates that kid, and it's the mom's fault, and no one says that mom is a good parent. Guess what? These COD partners dropping the ball are that mom. They're just sucking off the kid, saying, oh, everything's great, because they don't actually love the kid. Not enough. Or they're not expressing it correctly. Because you need to criticize things to make them better. We criticize this fucking shit game because we want it to be good. I don't get on here and criticize Fortnite ever, do I? I don't have a Fortnite podcast, do I?
Because you don't care about it, yeah.
Because I don't give a single fuck about Fortnite. I don't care if it's good or not. I hate Fortnite. Never gonna play it. Don't care about it. There's probably a billion things to complain about with respect to Fortnite. Don't do it, though, because I don't like Fortnite. I have no investment in it. That's why I don't complain about it, in fact, because I don't like it. So yeah, all these people who listen and complain, we got a tweet recently. Tanner got a tweet recently like, I've been listening since 2019 and all you guys do is complain about the game. And he said something snarky in addition to that. Couple things. First of all, why are you still listening then? Weird. Second of all,
it's always been the same. So
second of all, you can just stop listening and stay mad. Third of all, do you disagree that there are things to complain about? And fourth of all, how do you expect the game to get better if you don't bitch about things?
Well, and we've said this so many times.
It doesn't mean we don't like it. Yeah.
Even if the game is near perfect, there's way more to talk about with the negative aspects and how the game could still be better, Like, if I have an amazing game and I drop a 40 bomb and I'm frying all game, what is there going to be to talk about with that game? Like, oh, I had a lot of fun. I fried that game. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to talk about. It's like, oh, that was a ton of fun. Yeah. There's nothing else I could say besides like, fuck, that game was really, really fun. That was a really fun round. That was my PR, blah, blah. There's just nothing you could say. But if I'm dying over and over again to someone I should be able to hear and haven't heard for 2 years, that should be talked about nonstop until it gets fixed. Like, it's just insane. I don't know, man. Yeah, and that's a great point Hood just brought up, is like Dr. Disrespect, biggest following out of anyone, not a COD partner. Why? Because every time he plays the game, he yells and screams about how bad of a game it is and how you can't hear people. Doc brings up the issues, not a COD partner. Way bigger content creator than 99% of the people that are COD partners and invited to the events. Doesn't matter. He complains about the game, calls them out, calls it as he sees it, as he should, and he's not a COD partner because of that.
Literally, exactly. Yeah. I mean, have you guys seen how many fucking sponsorship deals Dr. Disrespect has taken? All of them. He says yes to everything. If COD asked him to be a COD partner, he would have done it.
And I think he was early 2019, because I remember him being one of the early people to play MW 2019. And then I think once further into that game, he started to hate it. And then Warzone liked it, started to hate it. Yeah. So.
Yes, exactly. So
that's how it goes.
Anyway, yeah. People mistaking our complaints for like hating the game. I kind of do fucking hate Warzone right now, but
it's a waiting room right now.
It's a waiting room, and we want it to be better. That's why we complain about it, and that's why I don't complain about Fortnite. So, anyways, next point here. So yeah, the noise is awful. Next point here.
Thanks.
I'm not sure what would explain this from this season to from last season to this season. But there are more kill streaks, at least there were yesterday, than there were like in season 4. This was true on Caldera. This was Omega true on Fortune's Keep. And I'm not sure why. Because as far as I know, they didn't increase the perk drop rate. So you couldn't like you can't like loot kill chain more often than you could last season. They didn't increase the drop rate of kill streaks themselves, as far as I can tell, at least based on the patch notes. And I'm not really even sure if there's more money in the game now than there used to be in season 4, or more fire sales, or more cash drops. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. Maybe I was just profoundly unlucky yesterday, but we had a lot more precisions and clusters called on us than we used to get in season 4. In Caldera, Tanner and I were in a building on Caldera. Tanner and I were in a building for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, probably like closer to 2 minutes, which is a fairly long time in Warzone terms. Sure. We had a team behind us, to our left and to our right, which was a great position to be in with gas coming, by the way, on the side of Peak. So that we did manage to get out of there, only to die to a seat swapping kid and an armored Bertha. Very cool. Really glad they added that. We called it before it was added, by the way. But anyway, yeah, we're in that building and we had 5 kill streaks called on us. No. I think it was 4. It actually might have been 5. I think it was 3 precisions and 2 clusters in the span of those 2 minutes. Those 2 to 3 minutes. That did not happen in season 4.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And on Fortune's Keep, on the game we ended up winning, I swear to God, we were around the lighthouse. There were 8 kill streaks called on us in that time. I had 2 or 3 clusters on me. You had 2 or 3 precisions. Then I had a precision. Just a clown fiesta of kill streaks. And I was literally trapped in the little fucking lighthouse for like a solid full minute.
Yeah, I don't know how that team
clusters called on me.
Kept getting so many. It was like the same duo, I think, calling it in over and over too. I'm like, dude, how much money do these guys have? It was weird.
It was incredibly weird. So I don't know if something changed that caused there to be more kill streaks or if we just got unlucky. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we probably just ultimately got unlucky. I mean, we've had the high value loot zones and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's leading to more of all of that. But I guess we just got unlucky yesterday. Yeah, I've never in like a couple hours of playing have I had a airstrike or cluster called on me that many times. It was odd. We were tagged and cursed for sure. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and like weird spots. So yeah, that building we were in when we were like stuck between 2 or 3 teams that of course weren't fighting each other at all. Not once they shoot at each other.
Correct.
Like one of them clustered us, the other one precisioned us, then the other one also clustered us. I'm like, dude, you guys can't see all these guys? We're in a building. These other teams are all out in the open. Why are you guys not fighting at each other?
Yeah.
Like, why are you not shooting at each other? I don't know. But we probably realistically just got unlucky, but fuck, was that annoying, man. Very annoying.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. Yeah, maybe we did. Because I can't think of what else changed that would have just increased the kill streaks.
Nothing from what they said, yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, next thing here for me, the gun meta is more open, but we say that at the start of every season, and then that doesn't last long. Someone will find a best gun, and in 3 days, everyone will be using that. But as of now, the super long range, like 200 meter plus fights, are definitely getting harder and harder to do and have overall without having a heavy sniper or something. Because with the 3 to 6 changes, it has more recoil. Most of the meta guns have a little bit more recoil now. So when you're zoomed in 6 times, you have more bounce than you did before, and that's making it harder for those really long range gunfights, which I like because I hate having these 300 meter AR gunfights. They've never been fun once in Caldera. I don't want to do them anymore. I'm sick of them. So luckily those seem to be going away kind of. And that's going to bring snipers back into play, which they also buff snipers a little bit. So as of now, that all feels good. But, like I said, in 2 days, we'll see some gun that's like very overpowered. It's actually maybe like the UGM or something.
Actually, you're right. It did get harder to use ARs like fairly long range because that hit to the optic, when you are zoomed 6x and not mounted, it is a pretty big difference. That nerf does go a pretty long way. And that was a big problem for sniping. For sniping, it made snipers not worth using. But also, especially on this map, for just being able to move your character. And when we were in that building at the side of Peak, we got out of that. And we just ran right and wrapped. And got to another building and then kept rapping. And I ended up making it to that building while some guy was trying the entire time to kill me with an AR. And he was missing a lot of bullets. And maybe he doesn't in season 4. Because he was far as fuck away too. So I think an outgrowth of that, which is good, is that, you can move a little easier. Because you're not going to get killed by someone quite as far who's using an AR anymore, because it's harder to control very far distance, which is good, because you need to be able to move around in the open, especially on this map.
Yeah,
for sure.
Especially on Caldera.
So it's very likely I would have died there if it was a pre-nerf, optic.
Yeah. I think that's just all good now that the 3 to 6 is a little bit bouncier.
I agree.
Because also, if people find it too difficult to use, what does that mean? They'll just switch off of it and start using like the 3 1/4 optic, which doesn't zoom as far, which is also making super long range, extreme range gunfights like non-existent. And you kind of have to push in to get those fights, or it brings heavy snipers back into play.
Yes. Yeah. And those are all good. So that is a very good change. I agree.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So, next thing here is on the EX1, which I said I was going to talk about more in Warzone. So, I leveled this a fair amount. Not max level. It's like level 50-ish. And this was a profound waste of time. Because everything... I was excited for the laser gun, based on the roadmap description. And quite literally, none of the roadmap description of how this gun would be different than any other AR was actually true for Warzone. Yeah. So they said you would have infinite ammo. Not true in Warzone. It works on an overheating system. So what that sounds like to me is like a plasma rifle from Halo. And the way the plasma rifle in Halo works is that it has unlimited ammo, and you can shoot it full auto, and a meter, like a heat meter, builds. And if you keep firing full auto for long enough, the heat meter gets capped, and then the gun will no longer fire, and you have to wait all the way for the heat meter to go back down to 0. To get around this, you can just shoot until the heat meter's 90% full, stop shooting, and then you can shoot again at any time. So when it's at 50%, you can start shooting again, 85, 20, whatever. That's the way to use a plasma rifle, is to shoot it, get it as close to overheating as possible as necessary, but don't overheat it so that you aren't caught being unable to shoot at all because you've overheated the gun. That's what the roadmap made this gun sound like. Doesn't work that way. There's no like cooling down period. So you can't like shoot 30 rounds of a 60 round mag and then it just gradually goes back up to 60. No, you just have to reload. Exactly like a normal AR magazine. Quite literally, nothing about this gun in Warzone is any different than a Vanguard AR in Warzone, save for it's goofy looking. That's it. So the thing I was most excited for, that sounded the most unique and special, is profoundly not unique nor special. And I was very upset about that. On top of that, it's not good either.
That's good, though.
I'm glad it's not overpowered. I'm not glad that it's not good. I would like it to be usable. And I'm not glad that it behaves exactly like every other fucking gun. Because now it's just an AR that looks dumb. So now it's like completely useless. And might as well not have added it to the game. And that was unfortunate. And like even when we got the UGM, when the meta barrel was the burst fire barrel, but you could hold down the trigger and it would repeat bursts, that gun unironically feels way different than using the new laser gun. And that was actually mechanically way more different and way more fun. And I was hoping for something similar. Not at all. It's a gun that sucks. So that really, really, really dampened my excitement for this season. Because that's what I was most looking forward to, using some kind of gun that was mechanically different. It's completely the same. Identical.
You just wanted a hit scan laser beam that didn't have to reload, man. Great. To be honest, come on.
Yeah, well, I would have taken it. Anything.
No, you wouldn't have liked playing against it after an hour and a half, but
Of course.
Yeah, I think all what you said is actually good, though, that it didn't turn out to be. It's literally just a reskinned AR that has, instead of tracer rounds, it's laser tracer rounds.
You didn't want it to be different in some way?
No, I knew it wasn't going to be. That's what I said when we were talking about it. I'm like, it's just going to be another gun, probably. I don't know. Like, even when we thought it was a cooldown period, I'm like, it's just going to be similar to a reload. It's not that much different.
It's exactly the same.
I mean, you can't expect them to just add something entirely different in and it be under the assault rifle category and it not be just a reskin. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting that anyway.
I mean, to be fair, they added a fucking nail gun. That was like really weird.
That thing fucking fried up close,
too. And it was good, too, yeah.
It was really good.
And the thing that was unique about it is that you couldn't put on attachments. So it was like, that was the downside, and the upside was it fucked.
It was like the fastest killing gun within like 5 meters or something, yeah.
That was like something kind of different. I was hoping for that, and we didn't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you, though, that I'm glad it's not like some insanely overpowered hit scan, like laser beam. Sure. But I don't know. Anyway. It just sucked for me. But, yeah. Smooth Sack Summer is slowly coming to an end, fellas. If you haven't been scaping for the summer sun, it is not too late to sweep your sack of those pesky pubes. As summer comes to an end and we enter fall, keep your boys clean and fresh, just in time for Fresh Ball Fall. Start the new season the right way and join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to keep your sweet, sweet sack in check. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, crop preserver, ball deodorant, crop reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. The Lawnmower 4.0 features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. This thing has 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock, and gives you the ability to turn on the 4000K LED spotlight. It's also waterproof. Whether you're hopping in the shower or hitting up the lake, this razor will devour even the strongest of pubes. Now that your sack is smooth, lather up with Manscaped's liquid formulations to get that fresh ball fall freshness. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant helps to stay cool in the heat, and they even threw in 2 gifts for the Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. Once again, 20% off, free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. Keep things smooth and fresh as we say sayonara to smooth ball summer and enter fresh ball fall. Today's podcast is sponsored by Coliseum, the fantasy football for Warzone. Users can enter the Friday freebie contest for free. As I said, it is just fantasy football for Warzone streamers. You go on the website, pick 6 streamers while remaining under a salary cap. For that weekend, they will earn you fantasy points based on all their kills and victories. The top 5 dream squads with the most fantasy points win a percent of the pot. New signups will increase the free $75 prize pool by $5, up to $150 every week. You sign up, you enter every single weekend for absolutely free, and you have a chance to win money. I finally came close. Last weekend, didn't get money, unfortunately. Not the best at picking teams, obviously, but I was close. And I haven't spent a single goddamn cent, and you won't have to either. That's why it's called the Friday Freebie. Guys, go to Coliseum, that is KOLOSSEUM.co. Make an account. Use creator code DROPSHOT when you make your account. And then enter the Friday Freebie contest every single weekend. Pick your streamers. They've got little stats on the website to help you select really good players. Obviously going to cost more. You got to stay under that salary cap. It's very cool. It's very fun. They update it all the time. They change the prices of streamers all the time to constantly be competitive and balanced. And it's a great way to compete with your friends and get a chance to win cash for no money from you. So once again, go to KOLOSSEUM.co. Use creator code DROPSHOT when you make an account and enter that Friday freebie contest. Next thing here, while we're on guns, I picked up a ground loot Garand yesterday because they changed marksman rifles. They buffed them in a lot of ways. The biggest of which was to make them use AR ammo instead of sniper ammo. And then another really big thing was they reduced the recoil a lot, and the flinch. And it was pretty shit. It has less recoil, definitely, than it used to. So it's still far more usable, but it's still like way too much recoil for a ground loot option. Now with that, for a long range option, excuse me. With that said, this was like a gray or green ground loot Garand. So it is entirely possible that you can build a marksman rifle to be viable, at least theoretically viable, long range. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
Most people
either.
aren't going to even try to build it. So if it exists, we're not going to see it for another couple days. But it is possible, and the buff is noticeable to the recoil on it. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for someone trying to make it work, because I want to do something different.
Yeah. That's kind of what I had said, though, is I feel like even if it's really good, you won't see a lot of people using it, at least not for a while, because like no one has these suckers leveled up, you know? That's the
that's
last
true,
category you thought about leveling up when you were playing Vanguard before Warzone came out. It's like none of mine are leveled up at all. So it's even if one of them ends up being broken, would I spend the time leveling up a marksman rifle for it to possibly be nerfed like 10 days later? Probably not. No. So I think either way, we won't see many of these be thrown into the meta or even like the viable category in this game's life cycle.
Yeah, that probably not. Yeah. So next point here is the hipfire PPSH. I had been talking about, after reading the patch notes, that I really wanted to try this because they buffed the hipfire specifically on the Vanguard PPSH, which already had a very good hipfire spread. And I was like, ooh, baby. Aiming is cringe. Imagine unironically ADSing. I'm done doing it, if I can, for close range. And I might be able to now. I forgot to set this up because I was trying other things like a fucking moron. But Tanner did use a hipfire piss boy. Tell us about it.
I only picked it up like once, and I got a couple kills. It did feel good. I forgot how insane the hipfire is on that thing. Like that, the spread when you stop sprinting or stop moving, dude, it is so damn tiny. I was I hit fired a guy from probably 15-20 meters and downed him with this random build I'd picked up. It was someone's like favorite loadout that they had got out of a chest, my random teammate, and then they marked it. Yeah. So it had like incendiary rounds, it had the 71 round mag, it had like no stock and shit, but it felt pretty damn good. I'm like, damn, maybe I should try this again and go back to it. So I think we will
100% doing that.
Yeah, I think we will be giving that a shot. I've seen a lot of people using the PPSH again, so I think that's definitely back in. And that's always been one of the most fun guns. That was one of my favorite guns early on in Caldera, and then they nerfed the ever-living shit out of it, of course.
Dude, you were like the first one on the train. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that sucker was fun, man.
You built it and were using it, and then like I think Iceman Isaac made a video about it. A YouTube video, like, hipfire PPSH, and then it blew up, and then they nerfed it. But they didn't nerf it that hard. It's still usable. And now even more so.
It was overpowered, I guess.
Yeah. It was fucking
It was
nuts.
just nice to have as K-BAM players. So just It's easier to not ADS and just spray everywhere and miss a bunch of shots and hopefully get the kill up close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna try that some more. That felt good and it was fun to use. That's one gun that actually like feels different for some reason. I guess because it's a hipfire build,
firing probably,
and it's like the only hipfire Vanguard SMG build pretty much that people use. So
I would argue it's the only viable hipfire sub in the game that I can think of anyway.
Yeah, I mean the next most viable one is honestly probably the M-Dub MP5.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't think of it. I'm sure there's another one we're not thinking of, but hipfire meta, there's not too many of them.
Yeah, they introduced the Marco Polo as like a hipfire gun, and it's just not that good to hipfire.
Yeah, Marco fucks, but not for a hipfire build.
PPSH is far better, as a far smaller spread, at least from what I had built. I haven't looked at that to be absolutely sure, but yeah. So thanks, Ted. Doesn't know what the fuck they're talking. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I mean, it's just so obvious, but whatever. So yeah, snipers also got buffed a lot. They had their flinch reduced massively, all snipers. And then there were some other buffs on top, changes and mostly buffs on top of that to snipers, because they want to see snipers getting back in the mix, which I'm glad for. That was one thing, that's one little blurb they had added to the patch notes about snipers, is they had said, we almost have what we see and as a healthy mix of like sniper users versus AR users. And I don't know what they deem a healthy mix, but they said there's still not quite enough snipers, so we're going to buff them again. And that's a step in the right direction, because snipers did need more love. Maybe even they still do. I don't know. I don't know. I got to play more. But for Caldera, I tried out the AX50 because it is a fairly fast 2 ADS gun that can one-shot headshot at any range. Because I really don't want to use one of the snipers that has a limited one-shot down range on Caldera ever. And so I wanted to find the fastest, or among the fastest ADSing any range snipers. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try the AX50. I think the 3-line is still probably just better than the AX50. And the ZRG, maybe. I think the 3-line's probably actually the best one. But I have very limited experience, so take that with a grain of salt. But I wanted to try something different, so I tried the AX50. And it was pretty good. I saved Tanner's life once, explicitly because I was sniping. And because I was using a heavy sniper, quote-unquote heavy sniper, by the way. Because some guy was fucking his ass. The guy, like, mounted something. Oops. And I just ripped him off of it from, like, 100, maybe more than that, meters outside of any light sniper headshot range. So I was glad for that. I'm glad I had a heavy sniper in that case. And it was like fine. It was good, whatever. And then, again, a lot happened in that fucking building. The building incident on the side of Caldera. I was in the building. Some guy was... How far was that guy on the rock before he pushed and got dealt with? 40 meters?
Probably, yeah, something like that.
40 meters away, above us, on like a rock, shooting down through the windows at both of us. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to peek and rip him off his head. Rip his head. No, I'm not. I peeked, he like lands one bullet, and it just, my reticle is like, my reticle's aiming at me in real life. I saw my own face on the monitor.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was just... It's still like, okay, 45% less flinch. It doesn't matter. For the heavy snipers, I can say this almost with 100% confidence. The flinch reduction literally does not matter at all. Because the thing about flinch on snipers is whether it's 20% or 200%, those are basically the same thing. Because I either can't land a headshot when I'm being shot, or I can. And any other amount of flinch doesn't matter. So either they need to have so little flinch that I can have a chance in hell at landing a headshot while getting shot, or it needs to have, they all need to have like way faster flinch recovery, such that if someone lands one shot but doesn't land a follow-up, I'm like right back where I was aiming very quickly after. That would maybe be another way to buff them. Or it just doesn't matter at all, and you might as well give me infinite flinch, because 20% is still too much. So it's still, so that, all I'm saying is the flinch reduction for heavy snipers literally changes absolutely nothing about how you have to play with them. You can't be getting shot to get headshots on people, unless you simply get lucky. It's not possible otherwise. So stop reducing flinch for heavy snipers. If you want them to have this much flinch, that's fine, but don't lower it and expect anything to change. It doesn't matter. Because it's either going to flinch too much for me to use while I'm getting shot, or it won't. It's literally one or the other. It's binary. And no amount of extra or less flinch matters unless we're getting to the other side of the binary.
Heavy snipers, it was only reduced by 11%, which absolutely is not noticeable whatsoever. Yeah, that's not going to change a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
I didn't try heavy snipers, but I did try the Swiss, because Swiss is considered a light sniper, and flinch on those was decreased by 40%, which is that's probably going to be something noticeable. That's what I thought. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to use this thing. It's probably going to be better. It surprised me a lot. It did not have very much flinch. I was actually shocked. I was like, dude, this is almost like OG Swiss days when there was like zero flinch. It felt really, really good. I didn't use it that many games. Every game that I used it was on Fortune's Keep as well. So it's different because I'm using it at like 50 meters and getting flinch versus like on Caldera, it's like 100 plus meters and I'd be getting flinch, so it's going to seem like a lot more than that far away, obviously. But It felt very, very good, and I think this is absolutely a very viable option now on Rebirth and Fortune's Keep. It has a fast refire rate, so I was able to kill 3 players one game when they were all outside of my one-shot damage range. Yeah. Because I can get that quick follow-up shot after getting a headshot and then the one shot down. Like this one guy was running towards me on the edge of gas, like probably, I don't know, 80, 90 meters away. Hit him once in the head. He's cracked. So he, out of habit, slides. Probably doesn't know where he's getting shot from again. So he just slides straight into me. I fire one more time really quick because the refire rate's insane. And boom, he's down easily. So they're just so much fun to use. I wish it's still one shot at all ranges because it'd make Warzone a lot more fun right now. That's actually pretty much when I stopped having a lot of fun in Warzone, when they removed when they changed that. So the light snipers at one shot down, because they were just so fun to use, man. And I get they were busted and they could be annoying, but it's like, fuck, were they fun to use? So that was I was having a blast with the Swiss. Definitely seems a lot better. I was combining that with the Blixen, toying around with that, and it felt really good. Blixen is still my favorite SMG right now. It feels the most rewarding, feels really good. It's my favorite Vanguard gun out of all of them, I think. I
feel the same way. I think it's something about K-BAM.
I just go back and forth with the Marco, the Type 100, the Armaguerra. They feel really good one time, and the next time I get on and I'm like, dude, I don't like the recoil pattern. I don't like the fire rate. Something's weird about it, and I just can't get used to it. But the Blixen just always hits for me, so I think I'm done trying the other ones. They are really, really good. I think the fast fire rate ones with more bounce, though, or more controller guns up close. I like the Blixen, though, because it hits a little harder at range, or that's the way it feels, at least, because the fire rate, and I can pick my shots easily. Someone's standing there not looking at me. If I start shooting at him like 15 meters away with the Armaguerra, I'm missing like half my shots. With a Blixen, because the fire rate, I can aim upper torso, and I feel like I can track that guy easier because it doesn't have a lot of horizontal bounce. So that feels better for me. But I think most people are on the Arma right now. I think that's kind of like the meta SMG overall. But I don't know. I'm just going with what I have the most fun with now, and that's definitely the Blixen, so I'm sticking with that.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. On the topic of snipers, I think, honestly, if you want to balance them, I think the flinch experiment has to end. Go back to pre-nerf flinch on every single sniper, but keep the one-shot headshot ranges they have now. And I think snipers are pretty balanced for Caldera. Because if I'm trying to snipe someone 200 meters away with any sniper and I'm getting shot, that's far enough away to where literally any amount of flinch, including pre-nerf flinch, is going to disallow me from hitting his head. And that's what you want. And then, like, if you're, again, what was the sniper everyone was using that was so overpowered? It was the Swiss. Okay, well, the Swiss doesn't headshot at every range anymore. You have to be close enough to get the one shot down. That's enough. That's enough of a nerf to snipers to where I think everyone would be happy. We don't need to have extra flinch on top of that. I just don't accept it anymore.
Yeah, you don't need all of those things, I don't think.
I really don't think you do. I think snipers would be balanced if we were at pre-flinch, keep the limitations on the one-shot downs, and we're good. I wish they would go back to that.
Yeah.
Because then I would still not use a Swiss on Caldera if it had as little flinch as it once did, but it could only headshot up to 45 meters or whatever. I still wouldn't use it.
And that makes sense because it's a light sniper and it's not designed for long range
and I'd be totally fine with
according to them. So that does seem balanced theoretically, but yeah, I don't know. It's not having snipers to play with is kind of boring. So I'm a little worried to see what they do with Warzone 2 if we're going to have that right off the rip. Because I just want to snipe, man. I want to jump around corners and quick scope people. That's what was fun for me, and it's very frustrating not being able to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And they could be overpowered at times, but also like to do a lot of the shit you had to do with the light snipers, you did have to be good with a lot of it.
Oh yeah. It's harder to snipe than to use an AR. I mean, that's always been true.
Is, yeah.
That's always been true.
Yeah.
Maybe the car.
The car had too much aim assist too.
Yeah, that
was the biggest issue with that, I think.
But yeah.
But most of the other snipers didn't have that, but the car had nasty AA, which is why it was such a popular choice over the Swiss.
Mm-hmm. The car was so insane. Dude, I remember whenever I hear the car, I think about being on a rooftop in Verdansk, and it must have been at the edge of Promenade, close to Hospital. And then there was some other team in those two stacks even closer to Hospital, and they were like right next to the road by the ravine. And they were coming out of the little fucking hole, and we were coming out of our little hole. And I remember getting with the car, because it didn't move with that one stock, the tack comb stock. I got like 5 or 6 downs and 0 kills on that rooftop in like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all I think about with the car. It was just so dumb. Yeah. So regardless, I take away the flinch. So anyway, that is that. What do we got next here, buddy?
Next up here, we kind of already talked about this, but as of now, the whole lobby is still using the 3 to 6 optic. Like we said, slightly more recoil, enough to make long-range gunfights worse. The ADS difference, by the way, I didn't notice once, now that I think about it. They want people to use them less. You need like 100 milliseconds more of ADS time or something. I don't know, because that could be annoying to deal with. But as of now, it just it's still what everyone's using. And as I predicted, the glint change doesn't matter whatsoever, because you're not going to get one shot by someone most of the time. So you having glint giving away your position just really doesn't matter most of the time. So
I agree.
But long range gunfights as of now are more difficult. Maybe we'll see less people use these as the big boys start coming out with their loadout videos or something and don't have it on there. But as of now, everyone's still running this on their ARs.
Yeah. I think what I hope, which won't be implemented because it would be a decent idea. What I wish they would do is take that 2.5x optic they have and just rework it like they once reworked the Axial Arms 3X to make it a better optic that zooms more than 2.5. And that's it. That's what I wish they would do.
That's what we wanted the first week of Caldera. We had said that. Yeah, we're like, that would make sense because they did that with the Axial to match the VLK. I actually expected that going into Caldera, that there was going to be an optic exactly like that, and then we just didn't have it.
We never got it, yeah.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense to me.
A really easy solution to this.
The fucking easiest, yeah. Literally change the 2.5 to like a 3.5, a little bit more zoom, and it's that simple. And then have the 3 to 6 have super slow ADS, an insane amount of recoil, or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I agree. The 3 to 6 should really be a sniper rifle scope.
Yeah,
it should be something like you don't want to put on an AR, but. Yes, here we are.
But you do, because that's the best optic.
Yeah, exactly.
And the guns don't have recoil.
And Vanguard ARs don't have recoil.
Yeah. On that, the Grau feels really good right now. I was surprised how much I liked it on Caldera. It also felt good on Keep. Combined with Combat Scout on Caldera, it makes it easy to track players even only while using the VLK, because it has no recoil at all. And especially if you mount with that sucker, you can fire 60 rounds and every bullet at 300 meters lands in the same exact little 1-inch hole. It's insane. So you can easily down people at 100 meters plus because of that, not missing shots. I felt like I was killing people at long range easier than using like an auto or some other dog shit trash Vanguard AR now that people are using. So I thought that felt the best, honestly. It is annoying not having the 3 to 6 when you have to compete with that, but maybe we'll see that come through more. Like I said, now everyone's still using the 3 to 6 as we speak, but that could change very soon, and then maybe people will start going back to some of these other guns and using them. So I like this a lot. Felt like a really good gun. Benji or someone in chat in Discord had been talking about, he felt like they buffed the movement speed on it. It felt the same to me, still like the same sluggish ADS mobility as MW guns. But it was fun using that. I did enjoy that sucker. And I was getting downs really far away because, like I said, with Combat Scout, with them lit up, makes it very easy to track people no matter how far away they are.
Yeah. I did not use the Growl. And I don't really even intend on using it as a long-range AR, but I am definitely going to try this as a sniper support gun. because it has the cleanest iron sights ever introduced in a first-person shooter game. So you don't even have to put an optic on it, which actually matters because it's an MW gun. Cool, Vanguard, 10 attachments, awesome. So much customization. So much identity, I can choose 10 things. Let me Google Swag's fucking exact guide. We'll all have the same gun anyway. And now we don't have to do any trade-offs. So fucking dumb. Anyway, I really want to try now, especially a Grau sniper support AR, iron sights, and then I can put some things on that. That sounds really fun and really chunky. The drawback would, of course, be the movement speed. But if you're using like a 3-line, Vanguard guns just have better movement speed in general than MW guns do. So you can still move around the map probably quickly enough as long as you just have the 3-line out. And then when you need to bang, you can swap to your Grau and then walk toward your enemy, stumble toward him, and then fuck him up. I do really want to try it as sniper support.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a good sniper. I think you'd have to change the entire gun loadout if you want it to be sniper support, like change the barrel or something, or change the stock.
Well, I could drop the VLK, which would increase the ADS speed, and then I could add stippled, which would further increase the ADS speed. Or a
tack
stock
laser.
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
Or a tack laser.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think
it's
it'd
something
be...
I'd experiment with.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it will be good. I haven't used a Grau in years, literally. But maybe it would be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. And I just kind of talked about the Blixen, but a little bit more. They did change the 54 round mag. Before it did extra headshot damage. Now that multiplier has been removed, and now you get a slight increase to your upper torso damage. There's a little multiplier for that. So I thought it still felt really, really good. As I said, my favorite Vanguard AR. And so that is still the mag that I'm using as the headshot one. And it felt really good to me. And I see most of the meta builds that the Warzone pros and people are using that I saw, they all still had the 54 round mag. So I thought that felt really good. And the gun's just fun to use, man. Just really fun to use. So if you were kind of worried about that destroying the gun, I'm sure the theoretical time to kill did get worse, but I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm not changing the mag on that sucker at all.
Yeah. I like Cope's Arma build for KBAM. I think it's really good, but it still doesn't feel nearly as good as the Blixen. There is something about the Blixen. I think it's just the slow fire rate.
It's the sound, the fire rate, yeah, something, I don't know.
And it feels great. So, yeah. I didn't try it yet, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, we were kind of talking about Caldera early on. I think this is kind of how we feel about it now. Like, Raz was bringing this up yesterday. It's literally just too much trouble to try to play Caldera at this point. It's insane, man. It's insane how long it takes to attempt to play the game just to have issues. Like, it's no wonder people play Resurgence. Between crashing, freezing, lag, taking 10 minutes to find a lobby when not VPNing is just fucking insane. And this is why Caldera is dead. Like, imagine some 45-year-old 0.3 KD Resurgence main being convinced by his other buddy, who's also old, let's try Caldera. It's like, that guy's going to try to queue for a game, take forever, finally get into it, land, die 10 minutes later because they landed super far away, looted up a little bit, got their loadout, start walking into the zone, and then get killed to someone. It's like, holy shit.
And then they get
I would never play it anymore either.
Yeah,
it's a fucking disaster. It's more cheese than Resurgence is now, honestly. So I don't know. At least we got into gunfights on Fortune's Keep. That was nice to have in the shooting video game, to be able to play the game and get in gunfights. I mean, like 1 hour into my stream again, we had completed one full match on Caldera.
Yeah,
game updated again. Update requires restart again. Rembrandt error trying to join on each other again. Just couldn't find a lobby. It would put us into a lobby like 3 times and take us back out. Just fucking insane. Just a complete and utter disaster. I don't know if the server issues were that bad yesterday, or if it's just like duos is that dead or something. I don't know what's going on. It should never take that long in a cross-play Call of Duty title to find a match and play. It's fucking insanity. And then meanwhile, this morning, because I random filled Rebirth, so we got like 35th place every time, I was able to queue and die in 3 Rebirth games in like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
That I would just be getting into Caldera at that point.
Here was our experience. Let me tell you
guys. It's too much trouble to play. It's just not worth it. I swear.
Let me detail what happened to us when we attempted to play the game yesterday. Okay, so we start the stream. We're excited to play the new update. I've got my fucking laser beam gun all leveled. Maybe it's good. I'm coping. So we get on. I'm in the game. Join on Tanner. Tanner gets online, and one of us gets online, and the other person can't join them because they don't show up in your friends list for another solid 45 seconds, even though they're just waiting with their dick in their hand in the lobby. Show that he's online when he's online. It's super easy, and let me join him. It's
Day
not
one
hard.
of MDub stuff, by the way.
Day one, yeah, actually. So we finally join a party a minute after we should be able to in 2022 from the arguably largest publishing company of video games on Earth. So then we get in a party. We queue for the LTM, searching for 5 minutes. Literally, it puts us in a lobby and then inexplicably takes us out, restarts the search process, and I say, cool, we must be bugged. Requeue for the LTM. 5 minutes go by. Same thing happens. Okay, I'm done. I don't care that much about an LTM. Fuck this. Queue for duos. Wait another 5 minutes. Actually get in a game. So, cool. Great, we're in a game. Play the game. Doing pretty well. Make it to like 4th or 5th circle. I go to buy a UAV. As soon as I open the buy station, game crashes. First game I've been playing, by the way. So first game I'm actually in. Open the buy station, crash. Awesome, got it. So then Tanner gets double teamed. I relaunched the game because I crashed for opening a buy station, God forbid. I join on him after a minute of being online with my dick in my hand. Cool friends list. We queue again. Can't find a lobby. Okay, let me try and be party leader. So I'm the party leader, queue again. Still can't find a lobby. Let's try restarting our game. Restart the game. Okay, so I exit the game, launch the game. Guess what message I get? Update requires restart. I literally just restarted, but fine. So I restart twice in a row, like an asshole. And then now, an hour and like 15 minutes has gone by, and we've played one game. Kind of. We haven't even finished a game because I crashed. That is 1 hour and 15 minutes of attempting to play the game. And then my stream
crashed.
And yeah, which is not sort of Warzone's fault. But this is 1 hour and 15 minutes of two guys who just want to play the game. And we couldn't even finish a single game. The one game we got into, I crashed out of.
Yeah.
Why on earth is this happening in 2022? How? It's far too much trouble. It's impossibly burdensome for me to simply play your game. Make it easier. Make it far easier. It should not be this difficult. It should not take an hour and 15 minutes for me to almost finish a game. It's unforgivable and insane. I just can't believe it. So that was fun. That was fun. And that set the tone for the rest of the day. It's just inexcusable. Inexcusable.
Yep. Yeah. It's just so much trouble to try to play Caldera now. I played some more last night.
VPN, by the way, for anyone wondering. Just two bros just trying to shoot their guns. Yeah.
Two gamers trying to play the video game. Yeah. I played duos with Lag last night. I was like, I don't really want to play Caldera. Let's play Resurgence. He's a little whiny bitch and hated Resurgence. So he's like, oh my God, I don't know how people play this shit. I'm like, all right, let's play Caldera. We spent a total of literally probably 15 minutes trying to find a Caldera game. He hosted, I hosted, backing in, backing out. Never put us in a game. Never, not once. Every time we tried to queue for keep, within under 60 seconds, we'd be in a match. Yeah. So I don't know if something's fucked with Caldera. Chris was saying he was getting into Caldera within 60 seconds in duos last night. I don't know what's going on there. So the only other thing is Timmy Timmons tweeting tall tales on the TL shadow banned our accounts because we've made fun of him too many times, and he shadow banned me from Caldera and forced me to be a child and play Resurgence. So I don't know what's going on, but it had not used to be. I mean, even trying to play quads, though, we wait for fucking minutes and minutes and minutes. It's just like, dude, just get me into a game, man. I just want to play the video game. So I really honestly don't know how much I'm going to play Caldera from here on out. I may probably am primarily just going to play Resurgence because I can at least play the game.
I'm not playing Caldera anymore.
We're going to continue to try the next few times we play, but I'm done waiting 10, 15 minutes for a lobby. It's just, I just want to shoot people, man. That's all I care about at this point. We have 2 months left. I'm not going to improve on Caldera. It doesn't matter. We're going to have a new map anyways. I'd literally be better off, just playing Resurgence and getting better at fighting people. Close range gunfights. I'm going to improve way more than trying to get into Caldera. It's just a fucking disaster, man.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, we will try to play Caldera more, but if it takes an hour and 15 minutes for us to not even finish a single fucking game, I'm absolutely done trying. Yeah. If this is an issue in a week, I'll never play Caldera again, and I'll be happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
there's no reason to at this point. If this was happening 6 months ago, they'd be like, fuck, this is annoying. But it's like, I'd still keep doing it because we have a year left of Caldera basically. But now it's like, okay, I know there's a new game coming. I don't give a shit about this map anymore. It doesn't matter. We're going to have a new map. Just let me shoot people at least. That's all I'm asking, man.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
Maybe we should finally try our controller experiment if we're going to be playing some Resurgence.
I might be down. Yeah, I might be down with that. Try and get used to that sucker. It is very foreign to me. It is difficult.
It just feels weird because I've never played shooters on controller. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels super weird. I feel super fucking uncomfortable. Yeah.
So the audio, we already talked enough about that. It's abysmal. It's all the only thing we need to say. Freezing at buy stations, freezing at loadouts is fun and exciting in the game. This happened twice to us.
And
one for you at the buy station. We both got downed and died twice because of the game freezing when I opened up the loadout screen.
Correct.
And then another fun thing they've done now is since they added the ability to donate hero or villain money towards the cause that doesn't matter, no one cares about. Just pick whoever's going to win. You already have it picked out. Heroes or villains. Just give us the fucking skin now.
Yeah.
So now, controller players, this doesn't affect you. You open up the buy station, you press up once on your fucking little D-pad, whatever it's called, your little analog stick, your right stick, your right
thing, your
right thumb, your left thumb, whatever one you pick. And hey, you buy a loadout. Know what I have to do now? I have to press F, grab my fucking mouse, slide it down here so I'm over the menu that has a scrollable ability, because now you have to scroll because they added too many things to the buy station. So now I got to get that mouse. There's a scroll wheel right here in the middle. I have to scroll. I'm fucking jamming the scroll button, get to the bottom. Then I have to grab my mouse, do this, bring it down, hover over the loadout. I'm getting shot at. I flinch IRL. I buy something else instead. I don't have a loadout.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you already have your loadout guns and you're killing me.
That's the hero contribution audio cue.
Yeah. So
in the ass. Yeah.
Again, hey, excellent accessibility, Ted. Wow. How is someone with hand issues supposed to navigate this new buy station menu if they're on KBAM? Just another accessibility issue that Raven doesn't actually care about. So fuck you. Don't make me scroll to buy the most important thing that I want to buy at a buy station. Put the fucking hero villain tokens somewhere else. Expand the menu so it's bigger and I don't have to scroll. Do literally anything else than what it is right now, and fuck you for making it this way. It just goes to show you how none of the devs play on KBAM, because that's something they would think of immediately. That's like, oh fuck, that's kind of annoying. You have to scroll down and then click on it, whereas controller, you just press up once and then you're at the bottom of the menu buying it. Cool.
Got it. Yep, totally agree. And it's not hard, by the way. There's plenty more room on my screen for you to just make the menu bigger. Do it. Don't make me scroll. I mean, also don't add fucking hero and villain contributions, duh. But especially don't make me scroll if you're going to. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane and unforgivable. And Activision devs, of course, don't play their own game. And they certainly don't do it on a fucking keyboard and mouse. Yeah, no. Which they should. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
They should. Yeah, they.
No reason to. You don't have a fucking brain if you start playing Warzone on keyboard and mouse. You're fucking dumb. If you're doing that, if you're like a new Warzone player and you're like, oh, keyboard and mouse sounds fun, you're a fucking idiot. Don't. Get comfortable on controller. You'll have more fun.
Yeah. Next thing
We're not
here.
blaming controller players. We're blaming Activision. So.
Next thing here. Didn't notice a difference in the increased player count on Fortune's Keep, but we only played duos and they only increased the player count by 4 in duos. Whereas quads was what, like 10, 12 people, I think? I think it was an extra 12 people.
Quads went
from like
12,
40 to 52.
Considerable. Yeah.
So that's definitely going to be noticeable. The extra 4 in Fortune's Keep felt the same to me, I think. I did feel like there were more people alive late game, but I don't know. That could have just been the few lobbies we had, maybe.
Yeah,
and we haven't played Keep real recently, so...
Yeah.
I mean, they could have changed the player count and not told us, and I would have never thought about it. But I feel like quads will actually play a lot different, so I do want to try that by the time we do second impressions and see how that feels.
Yeah, I agree. Fortune's Keep, to me, felt almost exactly the same in pretty much every way as it did the last time I played Fortune's Keep. You know, you can see people outside. It's still, I don't know, everything felt kind of the same as it used to. And unfortunately, this extends to being indoors. Don't. It's not possible to see people indoors. I think being inside of a building on Fortune's Keep is arguably the worst visibility you can experience in a Call of Duty game. Like, it's really, really shockingly bad. And you've written down here about Keep. Dude... I swear to God, because we're talking about the same thing here. I went into the Keep, I saw 2 guys, and then they just then I unpeeked, and I was like, hey, Tanner, 2 guys are in here. They know I'm here. So then I re-peeked in there. The guy was right in front of me. Just impossible to see him. He's got a rose skin on. There's shit everywhere, and it's pitch black also. So it's just impossible to make out if someone's in there. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend going in literally any building on Keep.
Yeah, Keep
the
is
worst visibility ever.
Keep is really, really bad. It's just because there's so much clutter in there too. It's bookshelves everywhere. All this stuff is different colors are going on in there, like dark reds, other things. Then there's a million chests inside of Keep, so you also can't hear anything because the hero and villain tokens are there every single chest you pick up. And they're all resurgence chests, so then once you pick them up, it doesn't matter. Then 20 seconds later, the chest you can open it again, and then it's making the chest audio. It's just really, really bad POI. We went inside there twice. Yeah, it's fucking crazy in there. That is such a bad POI. And I think I said that, or we said that early on. It's Keep may be the worst POI in Warzone right now. And I definitely still agree with that. There's not a worse POI on Caldera or Rebirth than Peak.
I absolutely agree.
Fortune's Keep in general, I do still like the map. I enjoy it. But Keep, as we said from the start, horrible POI. Really, really, really awful.
Yeah.
And again, vertical audio in that building is super, super bad too.
Yeah.
I hear footsteps everywhere, but I don't know where they are.
Don't know if they're above me, below me. The worst visibility in Warzone you can get right now is by going inside a Keep. Really easily too. It's really, 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 really bad. Yeah.
So one thing I do like is these new personal supply boxes. I especially like them for Resurgence. Because if you play Resurgence, what do you want to do? You just want to get into gunfights early. That's what you want to do. That's why you're playing it. You want to fight people. You want to kill people. So it's happened again this morning on Rebirth. And And then yesterday, pretty much almost every game I played, I was able to get one of those personal supply boxes, open it up, and then have my loadout guns. And that's fun to have early on. I've been saying this, my dear. At this point, just let everyone spawn with their fucking loadout on Resurgence, or drop the loadout 30 seconds into the match, a minute into the match or something. It's weird that in Resurgence, you have to fight with ground loot longer than on Caldera. Doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe there's something I'm missing and not thinking about, but I just want to have my guns to shoot people.
It's something the devs aren't thinking about.
Resurgence has better ground loot for sure than Caldera does. But I really like having those in the game because it's fun being able to just use my guns really quickly and not have to worry about finding money, getting to a buy station, not dying, and then buying a loadout. It's harder to get your first loadout in Resurgence than Caldera, which it just makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
No sense at all.
Yeah, it is weird. There was one time, actually, I popped a personal UAV, and it did lead me to a personal supply box, which mattered.
Oh, okay. Did they show up a different color on it then? On
they're pink.
The TAC map?
Mm-hmm.
Got
they're
it.
Pink. So that was like actually one use. And this is something, it's funny, because it's like, oh, turns out the fucking supply box UAV can be useful on Fortune's Keep, for example. However, the only reason it has a use is precisely because the loadout drops later than it should on the map. So it's like they introduced this thing that I didn't think was going to mean anything that turns out to be potentially worth buying early game on Fortune's Keep, because you're probably guaranteed to find a personal supply box. So it's probably actually worth it to buy it, which I didn't expect. But the only reason that it's worth it is because the loadie comes entirely too late on Resurgence. Therefore, it's useful. So it's like, yeah, okay, we were wrong. You guys were right to add the personal supply UAV, whatever the fuck. But oops, only because you guys designed Resurgence poorly and the loadout drops too soon. So you've introduced a solution to a problem you've also created. So for that reason, I would say, well, okay, I think a strat, actually, on Fortune's Keep and Rebirth, is probably to get 3K, pop one of those suckers, so you can insta-get your guns. And then that should tide you over until freeloading happens, and then you can get like tempered off rip and you have your 2 guns. That's probably the new play on Rebirth and on Fortune's Keep, which is kind of cool. But again, shouldn't need to. But on the topic of the box specifically, the pink box, don't forget what it's called and don't care. I like it. I think it's cool. And especially, again, as you said, on Resurgence, which is a mode that doesn't let you get freeloading until quite late into the game, it's very nice. Because you get all your shit, but you don't get perks. So you still want a loadout, because perks are really fucking good. But if you don't get a loadout, you're still super competitive because you have your guns. Yeah. So I think it's a nice addition, the box itself. I am a big fan of it, for sure.
Yeah, and just so everyone is aware too, you also don't get your tactical and lethal. You just get your 2 loadout guns. Is your favorite class. So set your favorite class to what you want for the personal supply boxes, because they are very common. Pretty much every game you play, you'll find one. So make sure you actually set your favorite class that you want to get out of those chests if you find one. And yeah, no tacticals, no lethals, no perks. It's just your 2 guns. That's it.
Correct. Yeah.
Because that has thrown me off. It's like, oh, I just got my loadout guns. Then I'm like automatically thinking, because I have my loadout guns, like, oh, I have a stim I can pop right now. And then I'm like, oh shit, no, I don't.
That actually fucked me, dude. Yeah. Literally that scenario.
I tried to throwing knife a guy once or twice, and I'm like, why do I not have any throwing knives? And I look down, I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I haven't actually gotten my loadout. I just have my loadout guns.
Because when you have loadout guns, that's so tied to like having loadout in your mind. I thought I had a stim and I didn't. And I was like, oh, fuck, no. And then I still won because I'm better. So, and now on to another, I was going to say high note, but this is a medium note. The following and the sniper changes / nerf to the 3 to 6x encompasses in totality utterly and completely the only two good things about Season 5 in my view. And that is the new Gulag, which is a reskinned Gulag Showers. This Gulag, as expected, is orders of magnitude better than the old Caldera Gulag, which is one of the worst Gulags we have ever had in Warzone. So I am very glad that Gulag is fucking gone forever. The new Gulag Showers is way better than the Caldera Gulag we used to have.
Yeah.
However, it is far worse than original Gulag Showers. Why? Because the lighting is fucking awful and the visibility is way worse than original Gulag Showers. Why? Because of course it is. I don't know.
Because, yeah, why not? Because there's lava right below it now.
Because Ted's in charge of it. So, on the one hand, the Gulag has improved considerably for Caldera. On the other hand, not nearly as good as it should be. Because the design is fine, and it's ruined by shit lighting and shit visibility. I'll take it. Still way better than the old Gulag, but not where it should be.
It's a lot more open at mid, too, even though for the last Gulag, they said it's wide open middle area. Remember when they said that? Jesus Christ, that's insane. I do remember when they said that. Can't believe they said that and designed the Gulag when that Gulag was the least open mid area of a Gulag I think we've ever had. Mid is literally a box. It's inside of Jesus Christ, it's insane.
It's like the actual opposite of their description.
Yeah, I think maybe those patch notes were intended for this Gulag. So, yeah, this Gulag's definitely better than what we've been dealing with. So, it's good. And yeah, lighting's a lot worse. I know Lag and Bandit were complaining that there's like no audio. Lag posted a clip. I haven't watched it yet, but he said like he literally couldn't hear the guy running next to him. Like the Gulag audio's bugged. I'm sure it's just normal audio though, honestly. But
the Warzone audio is terrible. I don't know why you'd expect it to be good in the Gulag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Use your fucking brains. So yeah, that's it for our first impressions. Overall, I was expecting very little from Season 5, and I was surprised to for the season to have come in far below those already very low expectations. This season is fucking terrible. It is an awful addition to Caldera. I would argue this is the worst season for Warzone that we have ever gotten on Caldera. It is a 2 out of 10. Would not recommend. I fucking hate it. Almost every new thing they added was bad or doesn't matter.
Rage Serum.
Oh yeah, Rage Serum, by the way. Yeah, I picked this up and I was like, huh. Tanner picked it up and he's running around behind me. And I was like, oh shit, dude. I hear you. Let's have that audio just be the footstep audio. That's a great fucking thing that they could do. Otherwise, it doesn't matter at all. So, yes, everything they added, almost everything they added, was either really bad, hero contribution, villain contribution, the dumb fucking tokens that make inordinate amounts of sound, the lighting changes, the lava's fine. The lighting changes didn't matter. Rage Serum, the new stupid building by Peak that has no loot. That's cool. They added a balloon. That's good. What else doesn't matter at all? I don't know. There's probably more shit that doesn't matter, and I can't think of it because it doesn't matter. And that's it. The EX1 doesn't matter. Shit gun. I had such lowly expectations for this season and still managed to be disappointed, which I'm genuinely surprised by. I'm surprised at how bad this season is, given how little I expected of it. And it is just, it beleaguers the mind how fucking awful Season 5 is. Far and away the worst season we've gotten in Caldera. Fucking hate it. God, I can't wait for Warzone 2 to come out. This is a disaster of a season. And, I mean, the good does not even come close to outweighing the bad. The game is now far worse than it was in Season 4. I would rather we roll back the servers in the game to season 4 and play that shit until Warzone 2 comes out, the game got worse. The game got worse. It's not fun to play if you can even get into a match, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is in and of itself a tall order. Again, 1 hour, 15 minutes. This is all on video, by the way. Don't believe me? Go watch Tanner's last stream on video. 1 hour, 15 minutes. We almost completed a game before someone crashed. Unacceptable. Terrible, terrible game. Awful season. Whoever tweeted at Ted, this is a great season, fuck you. Actually, fuck you. You're either lying or you are unwell mentally.
Click on every single one of their Twitters. It's always like Warzone content creator, 120K on TikTok. It's like, we know what you're doing, man. We get it. Yeah. So super obvious,
so fuck
man.
those people and fuck Ted. Awful, unforgivable, inexcusable season. What are your thoughts on this season?
I'm so glad this season is the last one.
Oh, it's so great.
That's what I'm most excited about. That is literally the best part of season 5 is the fact that it is the final season that we have to play of this game. So yeah, I think I would much rather play Resurgence than Caldera at this point. I just want to shoot people. That's all I'm trying to do, man. Caldera doesn't matter anymore. Like I said, you don't need to improve anymore. This isn't 6 months ago. There's nothing to improve on. I don't care anymore. I just want to shoot people and I want to get into a game quickly. So, yeah, it's not a great season. Not a great season. I'm expecting more halfway through in the season reloaded. Maybe we'll get like an actual fun LTM or something to send off the map, at least. A fun LTM that you play once, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just still, same shit every season. The same core issues that have never been fixed. So it is what it is.
It is what it is, indeed. The best I can hope for now with Season 5 Reloaded is that all the shit they're going to add is not bad for the game. That's all I can hope for now. It's definitely not going to be good. They're not going to... For example, what's the fucking secret surprise we're getting that makes Battle Hardened a more attractive choice? Hey, I don't know, but it has something to do with making stuns and flashes better or more prominent. That's not going to be good for the game, no matter what that means. So... with Season 5 Reloaded, the absolute most I can hope for is that all of the shit they add is merely useless rather than actively ruining further, somehow, my gameplay experience. That's it. That's all I'm hoping for.
I got a DM on Discord from King Wells, and he said maybe the surprise pertaining to Battle Hardened buff is that Combat Scout is finally getting the nerf it needs. Like, maybe, but... they worded it awfully weird for that to be the case.
I did not get that impression.
I didn't get that either. I got the impression that they were like making everyone spawn with a stun grenade or something. I don't know. Felt a little off. Plus, it's like, are you really? It'd literally be a slap in the face if they nerf Combat Scout when we get Warzone 2 in 2 months. That would be an absolute slap in the face and a joke, right? So,
yeah,
it'd just be insane
for sure. It would be completely fucking insane. Yeah. But whatever. Yeah. I'm a Warzone nihilist until Warzone 2 comes out. I don't care.
Yeah. What did they say again?
Yeah, I was going to look for it, but I couldn't find it.
Players may wonder why this change is happening now, to which our reply is that there may be a surprise in store during Season 5 that warrants this change. Yeah, I don't think that doesn't sound like anything to do with Combat Scout getting nerfed.
Is Battle Hardened being better against stuns and flashes. So that can't have anything to do with Combat Scout.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just not true. I wish King Wells was correct, but unless, which is entirely possible, whoever wrote that, it doesn't know how to use words, which is entirely possible, then that is not in fact what that means. So yeah. We'll see. I hope you're right, King Wells, but it doesn't sound like it. So anyway, I'm pissed now and my weekend is ruined. So thanks to you fucking assholes listening for making me talk about this fucking abysmal pit of fun-sucking despair that is Season 5. It's your fault, and I would have loved to not spend my Friday afternoon talking about Season 5. Fuck you. And the singular, solitary way you can make it up to me. Patreon.com/the Dropshot. It's the best way to support this show. It can pay for therapy sessions that I desperately need after having been forced to talk about this fucking patch for the past 2 hours. Bonus episodes, soon to be ad-free and early access. We do monthly hangouts, merch, store discounts, even more shit. Check it out, patreon.com/the Dropshot. Best way to support the program. Best way for you to get more content. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Follow the Twitter. We're doing a giveaway soon at the Dropshot Pod.
Should we send out a tweet right now? Season 5 is a W. Should we do it?
You should,
and then tag Raven.
You should go to and copy whatever dumb fucking shit he said to get retweets to farm clout on Twitter. Yeah.
We're gonna do another fake tweet, boys. Be ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how many people get mad before they listen. That is that. Thank you all for watching and listening. Have an excellent evening. Check out thedropshot.com. Stay connected. We got all our links there. Stay humble.
Stay humble.